तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा वेद्विषावहे। Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti. Welcome all of you. It's very exciting and great honor and privilege to be here with you guys and to share this platform of AAP, American Association of Ayurvedic Professionals. We welcome you from the bottom of our hearts to this very critical, very important topic today we have about the products of Ayurvedic products of which are available in the US. As you know, in the chikitsa or in the treatment or in management of any health condition, the products plays a very important foundation. Apart from Svastavrata, from the lifestyle, products play a very important role in how a condition is managed, how things are, how we take care of people, and also we have to be very familiar with the legalities and the aspects of our boundaries in the product in our practice of Ayurveda. So I'm going to start today with a very interesting and a clinical scenario which I came across from Dr. Shekhar Annambotla. Dr. Shekhar is quite an entrepreneur. He's the president of Global Ayurveda Conferences. He's also with president of APNA, and also he has a line of Ayurvedic products called Ojas. So he's also in the Ayurvedic business, and he's also very passionate about Ayurveda. He's quite an ambassador. I call him mover and shaker. So Dr. Shekhar, the last week when we were speaking, you were talking about the encounter you had with one of your clients. So I would like for you to share that encounter and tell us about what you see in the Ayurvedic practice. On to Dr. Shekhar. Let's finish it within 7-8 minutes, Dr. Shekhar.
Thank you. Should I share some of the slides? Or it's okay now? Request to share.
Yeah, go ahead.
I requested. Thank you very much, and good morning to everyone, and good afternoon for me. Almost good morning for me, 11 o'clock. So thank you very much for inviting me for this this panel discussion about the landscape of Ayurvedic products. This is really crucial. Chatushpadas in Ayurveda mentioned. Bishak, the physician or a practitioner, a Vaidya, and assistant, who can be a practitioner of a physician assistant or nurse practitioner, Ayurveda practitioner, or anybody. Second one. Third one is called Dravya, the medicine. And Bishak Dravya Upastata and patient. Last one is patient. We can also consider the patient is a very important role. Without patient, nothing is going to happen like that. So physician, patient, assistant, as well as herbs. Today we are going to talk about in the Chatushpadas, the qualities of the herbs are discussing about that. So what we try to do it here, now the quality of herbs now is the only biggest concern is that heavy metal content, inorganic products, because of course in nature everything is once upon a time everything is natural, is organic, everything is available in the nature. Now as we are using modern technology, more batteries and plastic and everything we are using, even the water, soil and plants, everything having heavy metals. Even they found that the foods which are available from Mexico, coming from Mexico and other countries, like cilantro having heavy metal content is there. Cadmium is absorbing naturally. But the question is that here, things are very important here. What we needed to think about that here. So when the plants are absorbing the certain types of heavy metals, there can be some level of toxicity levels can happen like that. Like recently, there's a study was done on the brown basmati rice having selenium and arsenic is more heavy quantities are there. That people when they are eating the content of the rice only, then brown rice, then create the problem. So now we need to think about that way that when the Ayurveda is evolved in the 1960s, it started with the new age alternative medicine in the United States of America, Western countries. So 1970, it has developed that Maharishi Mahesh Yogi and Vasant Lad and Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra later came, and but the thing is they evolved in such a way that very systematically. Now, question is coming here. Now, the people who are trained in this country, the qualifications and everything, we are giving the training. We are the teachers, of course. We are training them such a way that we are not teaching much of the metallic preparations. Recently, one of the patient, I wanted to tell you that patient regarding patient. So patient came, a 40 years lady, and massage therapist, licensed massage therapist, Reiki healer, hypnotist, and everything. And she is suffering with self-diagnosed parasites. Ivermectin, she is taking ivermectin, which is an animal product, animal prescription medicine like that. For the horses, they give ivermectin medication for that. And she's suspecting that herself like that. The doctors, they're denying that she doesn't have any parasites. But she believes that the parasites are there. That reason she's getting some skin rashes and everything. That is the thing. She went to the one of the Ayurvedic practitioner who is so-called Ayurvedic doctor. They call themselves as Ayurvedic doctors here. And he is a licensed massage therapist and some other education training program he has taken, online courses who has studied, and then he calls himself as an Ayurvedic doctor. Then he started giving a prescription for him, which is can be purchased from Upaya Veda. If you go to the website called Upaya Veda, upayaveda.com, there openly they prescribe, they sell these products and all heavy metal content products, Aragyavardhanivati and Chandrakalaras. And if you think about that, Brihadvachantamani, and then Krimikutar Ras, Sutasekar Ras, all the Rasausadhi preparations are selling online. And this guy is only, he says, claims that I am the only person having access to purchase, buy these products and prescribe these products. I'm the well qualified to prescribe these things. Then I saw that medications, out of 3 medications, having a Krumikutar Ras, Sutasekar Ras, and Gandhakaraj Ras, this all 3 are having a heavy metal contents are there. The prescription was given to that patient, and the indications, the outside with her name, patient name is there, and they're written there, Krumikutar Ras, 1 tablet, 5 times per day. So think about the 125 milligrams of one Rasaushadhi tablet 5 times per day. It's not like a neem tablet or tulsi tablet we are taking like that. High doses of high qualities of a number of things like that, and it is prescribed for 3 months. Think about her mercury levels, lead levels, and everything. I warned her. These are the heavy metal content of the products are there. Directly, you can go and look into the ingredients and everything. And also, unfortunately, that website does not indicate what are the ingredients in that. Only names of the products. Basically, these products are coming not manufactured in the United States of America, and it is coming from India. And when they are coming from India and they're selling here for the purpose of these things, that is the reason it is a bad name is coming for the entire Ayurveda community. And one or the second day it will be shut down. Ayurveda system of medicine will be shut down, or the big scrutiny will can happen like that. So this is the thing happening since 20 years. It's not only that. 2002 it started. Dr. Robert Saper from the JAMA publication, about 20 to 30 pages of publication came there. That was the alarming all over the country. Same thing happened. And even the Australia, one of the Ayurvedic doctor prescribing the Manasamitravati for the patient, it was prosecuted and he was in jail. Ayurvedic doctor. So there are some problems are there, and you have to be extra careful about these things, what you are giving the prescriptions and everything. And you may see that some results will be late, result will be late. It takes time for that patient, and you can explain them. It is not only that medicine only is the one part is going to work, and we have to think about so many factors are there. Lifestyle,
Thank you so much, Dr. Shekhar. Thank you so much.
And all things are very important for
Yes.
that to maintain good health. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate you setting up a good stage for us to take our conversation forward. So what I propose is we're going to have 3 major manufacturers in this country, and we'll start with the one of the oldest manufacturer of Ayurvedic products in this country, Dr. Shailendra Sodhi, and then we'll also have Ms. Harpinder Kaur, and then we'll have Dr. Jay Gopal Parla. So these are the other three panelists we have today, apart from Dr. Shekhar Anna Botla. So we're going to start with Dr. Shailendra Sodhi. I really look up to him like an elder brother, and he and his brother, in fact, there are four brothers: Shailendra, Jitender, Virender, and the older one.
Gender Sodi.
So all the four brothers are like the four brothers of Ramayana. They have
Thank
been
you so much.
people of Ayurvedic medicine. They have been in this country for over almost 45 years, 45 years. And they are really pioneers and one of the first manufacturers of Ayurvedic products in this country. So I really want to start with them because they have been like torchbearers. Dr. Shailendra Sodhi is a graduate of Ayurvedic medicine and surgery from India, and he grew up near Himalayas. He developed an early interest in Ayurvedic plants and herbs. He received his BAMS degree, which is Bachelor's in Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery degree from Dayanand Ayurvedic College in Jalandhar, India in 1985. In 1993, he received a degree in Naturopathic Medicine from Bastyr University, as well as degree in Diagnostic Ultrasound from Bellevue College in Bellevue, Washington. Dr. Sodhi practices naturopathic and Ayurvedic medicine along with his wife, Dr. Anju Sodhi, and his brother, Virender Sodhi, at Ayurvedic and Naturopathic Medical Clinic in Bellevue, Washington, which Dr. Sodhi's established in 1989. In addition, he serves as the president of Ayush Herbs, a manufacturer of high quality Ayurvedic herbal formula. He is an adjunct faculty member at Bastyr University and has been published several natural health magazines across the globe. So, Dr. Sodhi, I would like to start with you and to tell us what was the scenario when you started your manufacturing your products. I know you guys went through a whole turmoil and navigating the whole system. So tell us, how was it when you started, and why did you start manufacturing Ayurvedic products to begin with, Dr. Sodhi?
Thank you, Dr. Amit, and thank you, Dr. Shekhar, and the panel. It's my pleasure to be on it. It's a really very touchy subject, especially when we talk about the quality of products in the United States and how Ayush started, how we all four brothers thought of that. It was a painful experience for us, as Dr. Amit mentioned earlier. It was the loss of $50,000 in early 1980s when we brought some products from India and wanted to distribute it. And the only reason we were not able to sell them because of the heavy metal, which is ongoing issue with all the products which sometimes people bring from India. And Dr. Shekhar also mentioned about online presence of selling the rest preparation and all that. So, when we started our company early 1980s, 89, 88, the idea was to bring a quality product and also to understand the American population and also the regulations which surrounds about the nutraceutical product, Ayurvedic products and all that. So being very early in this game, I have seen evolving in medicine, which have been practiced for thousands of years, and we had to continue to work toward what is acceptable standard in United States for the safety of the population. Also, not that Ayurvedic products are not safe; they are very safe, but how they are prescribed can be very challenging by the physicians who are not well trained. Like Dr. Shekhar mentioned about rest preparations. And I mean, there is a very unique method how we prescribe those, even in India. So since I've been practicing over 40 years, in States, it becomes, our goal that we understand what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And our main goal is to bring Ayurveda into the mainstream in a manner where people understand the safety of the individual is the priority. And that's where we all need to work. Being the earlier manufacturer in Ayurvedic products, we figured that out very quickly that it is something which we need to take seriously. Otherwise, there is enough bad blood between the modern, allopathic model versus holistic models. Either it's Ayurvedic medicine or naturopathic medicine, you name it, or Chinese medicine, acupuncture, all that. We all are on the target. And being part of this system, we need to understand what really is allowed and what is not allowed, and that is where the whole game starts, and that's what we need to understand. Ayurvedic products are safe as long as they are prescribed in a manner where we understand that the individual will be able to receive it and get the benefit of it. So, Dr. Amit had asked multi questions in the one question frame, and that is, first of all, I think heavy metals are one concern, and Dr. Shekhar also mentioned how the heavy metals have contaminated our soils, and they are very naturally present. So, how when we bring the products into the supplements, there is a standard set of rules which get applied. And the same thing when you eat as a food, it becomes very acceptable. So there is a double standard to understand that part. But yet, supplements are looked at as a bad guys majority time when there is some sort of a contamination. So anyway, making long story short, once you put a product into capsule, tablet, goes into bottle, I think we need to understand that the daily dosages do not exceed the daily value of either contaminants, either that is heavy metals or other contaminants. So not only heavy metals are the issues, but then there is a microbial issues too. We need to understand, that the product need to be very sanitized, very clean, and need to be packaged in places where all those GMPs are followed, which stands for good manufacturing practices. Good manufacturing practice is just not like that you bring the product, grind it, put it, and go it, but there is a set of rules, which I think Dr. Amit will be able to elaborate even more because you are involved very much in manufacturing and you know all those things which I'm mentioning about it.
Absolutely.
And, when we talk about FDA, the Food, Drug, and Administration, there is certain standards which apply by FDA, which is very much in the manufacturing process, how you do your product and how do you look at the product, and the public safety becomes a target in this manner. So we have to understand the public safety is the top priority. So when your product is in bottle, either in capsule or tablet form or in liquid form or in oil form, it is becomes the utmost responsibility of the company to make sure that it meets all the required parameters, so the individual who are using see the benefit and do not have any sort type of side effects or toxicity related to the products. So, the heavy metals are like mentioned, there is a whole set of mercury, arsenic, cadmium, and lead that becomes it. And every state has their own regulations around that. And then there is the FDA regulations, which is daily, what is it should not exceed. So, that is very much an issue when it comes to the herbal products, nutraceutical products, and mineral products, that they do not need to exceed that standards. And I would not go mention into the levels, because if we talk about California, I heard a couple of practitioners from California who are recent graduate. The California has its own set of rules when it comes to the supplement, and that's called Proposition 65. So, a lot of these things, if you're using in California or selling in California, you need to meet the Prop 65, which is not same standard as what is given by FDA. So, understanding the local regulations along with FDA regulations, that's what we need to concern about when it comes to the product quality issues. So, how do you achieve that? it is a constant matter of R&D, and need to have make sure that we really follow those guidelines and do not let things go out of control, because it brings a bad name to our industry and also to Ayurveda, because Ayurveda always been in target. I have seen so many studies coming out of mercury poisoning, lead poisoning, arsenic poisoning coming out of, because the people who were using these products, they were using the rust preparations. And also certain product, herbal product can be contaminated. And that's where we need to make sure the testings are done properly, and on the raw material as well as on the finished product. So, Dr. Amit, that question I will put back to you.
Thank you.
You know, you have a great manufacturing facility, and you've been doing this. You are into this game now. So, you know, I would like to see, what are the listeners need to know, what they really need to understand.
Sounds good. So let me share here. I can't screen the shape, but I'm going to show it from the screen here. Recently, we had here we have to send a sample for Punarnavadi Google. If you guys can see Punarnavadi Google, we had to send to Eurofin for testing. There are only 3 labs which are recognized: Eurofin, United Lab, UL, and NSF. And we had to spend almost $1,700 to get our Punarnavadi Google tested. So what it means is it's a very expensive ball game, because FDA shows up at your door anytime. FDA shows up, the state health department shows up, and even our certifying bodies, they say, okay, can we do a video Zoom meet? So we have to constantly, as any manufacturer here, I think that Ms. Harpinder Kaur is also one of the manufacturers in this country. Dr. Jaga Gopal used to be a manufacturer here, so we are all familiar with. It's not an easy game to manufacture a product here. You follow basically the standards as very close to pharmaceuticals. And my wife Binti, who's an ENT surgeon by training, every day that's her job, is to make sure everything is compliant. She has to manage the manufacturing facility as if it's your surgical theater or operation room. That kind of environment has to be maintained, and that's not maintained in India. In fact, one of my very good buddies used to be the superintendent of Ayurvedic pharmacy, and when I visited their pharmacy, it was, forgive my French, it was very disgusting. They had mice, rats going around, roaches around, people sitting and eating around the manufacturing area. And this is a government Ayurvedic pharmacy. For God's sake, it's an Ayurvedic government pharmacy where no standards are maintained. I think it would have, if it would have been a private manufacturing facility, they would have shut it down to begin with. And my friend, Dr. Jakhutia, he was so frustrated, he gave up and he resigned from his position of being the chief of the Ayurvedic pharmacy, because he could not control the quality. So that's what I think people do need to understand who are practicing here in the US, that that you do need to keep in mind when you're buying the products, you are covering your liability too. It's not just heavy metals, but it's a big liability on you. And would the company who you are buying the product from, can they support any liability issue or a malpractice or a lawsuit? We as Ayurvedic manufacturer, whether it's Dr. Ms. Harpinder Kaur, Dr. Shailender, or Dr. Jayagopal, we all carry malpractices or liability insurances which covers the products. So I think that's something which all of you need to be very, very familiar with and aware of. And so thank you, Dr. Shailender, for a very good explanation. And now we move forward to the second pioneer in our Ayurvedic manufacturing in this country is Komal Herbs, Ms. Harpinder Kaur, and her partner, Mr. Hasmukh. They have been pioneers in manufacturing here. I think Harpinder Kaur is an Ayurvedic practitioner. She's the co-founder and vice president of Komal Herbal Incorporated. where she integrates time-honored Ayurvedic principles with forward-looking innovations. I think that's the key in Ayurveda is innovation. And under her strategic leadership, Komal Herbals have earned a reputation of as a trusted name in natural wellness, operating a third-party GMP and USDA organic certified facility that manufactures a high-quality Ayurveda-inspired product, supporting health, vitality, and longevity. Her unwavering commitment to authenticity and excellence led to the development of the first certified organic Chyawanprash product produced outside in India. That's awesome that you achieved that first Ayurvedic organic Chyawanprash to be made outside the US. A landmark achievement that reflects both her visionary approach and uncompromising quality standards. So we are so glad, Harpinderji, you are here. And my question to you is, uh, so what did you see when you guys? Why did you started Coma Loves? What did you see? What kind of challenges you had, and how are you? What are the steps you have taken in your manufacturing processes, Harpinderji? You unmute, please.
Namaste, everyone. Uh, Komal Herbals actually was started out of frustration with pharmaceutical industry. Me and Hasmukh Parekh, we both come from pharmaceutical background. He had an antibiotic facility in India, and we were making third generation antibiotics, which were supplied to companies like Pfizer, GlaxoSmithKline, and other European companies. Having seen firsthand the effects of pharmaceuticals on human health was very devastating for him, to say the least. And as he was processing to sell off his facility to someone who was already there, he was also looking for an alternate where we can help people with natural means. And a chance encounter with an Ayurvedic Vaidya in India triggered that dream of starting something in USA. So in 2005, after selling off his pharmaceutical company, we to Sun Pharma, who's one of the biggest manufacturer of pharmaceutical in India, we started with a very small dream of making Ayurveda easy for everyone. And our slogan initially and still is Ayurveda made easy. So the first was like, what is the best product to introduce to American population, not to someone who's going to Ayurveda where they or who knows what Trikatu or Triphala or anything is. So we started with Chyawanprash. So Chyawanprash was something we were importing from India, and we were selling off here to stores like Whole Foods and local health food stores. But we also developed health bars, which were made by using Chyawanprash. And that's the time when Chyawanprash in 2005, the health bars were there. Your, Cliff bars and all those energy bars were there. So we converted Chyawanprash into that. And it's a patent pending product. And long story short, in 2010, FDA regulations changed. And we found that our partners in India were unable to provide us with quality documents that were required by the new law. So we decided to change our strategy from being an importer to being a manufacturer. So it will not be wrong for me to say that we are maybe one of the oldest manufacturer of all Ayurvedic products in USA. Since 2010, we moved all our manufacturing in-house, right from making capsules to even making Chyawanprash. It took us about 3 years to develop the final recipe of making Chyawanprash in-house. And from a generic to certified organic, it was a challenge. So for us, the challenge has always been the legals and also the quality. Since we are now importing only raw materials from India, getting quality raw material is also a challenge. So not only are heavy metals an issue, the microbials, the bacteria which are in there, the yeast and mold which is present there, has also to be checked. But at the same time, the identification of the herb, whether you are getting the right herb, is also important. We have had so many issues where the supplier, if we have ordered neem, we are finding that not only neem leaf, which is supposed to be used, there's powder of twigs or barks, which is adulterated in it. Turmeric in the same way. One bag will show a different color, the other bag will show a different color, which we have to then disqualify. So you have to understand that in USA, FDA is very clear that if you cannot prove that you are using, let's say, ashwagandha root in your product, and that too with scientific evidence through a lab report, then your product is adulterated and it has to be thrown, which you cannot do when you are buying products from scrupulous websites like Instacart or something else. I also had a talk with one of our good friend from India, whose products are available on these sites. He is a very big manufacturer in India. And I told him, I said, your products are so much available and you're saying that you're stopping it. He said, we don't control that. We are not liable for the quality of those products which you are buying from these sites. So imagine that if you are a practitioner, you're ordering it from these sites and you are asking your clients to take those products. And you are then yourself liable because you are the one suggesting the product. You are the one who is suggesting the website. So for us, as an Ayurvedic practitioner myself, and as a manufacturer myself, I think I will be representing all of us who are there from the manufacturing community to say that you have to understand that as a practitioner, you have to modify your prescription game for locally available and locally made products. We may laugh when I'll say that, made in America and made for America. This is what my logo is. Because I can stand by my quality. I can stand by the standard set up by the FDA. I can stand by my product. It may not be classical Google preparations coming from India, but it will be something which will give you the benefits of the same preparation. Lot of times in Indian manufacturing, the contamination is not just from the natural sources, but it is also from the lack of GMP in the facilities. Our initial partners had a very nice, beautiful facility, I must say. It was one of the cleanest facilities I've seen in my life. But the cross-contamination was happening through the air because the air circulation system was not adapted to handling all those particles of heavy metals which were circulating in his facility. So on one side of his facility, if he is doing a heavy metal preparation of mercury or lead or iron, those particles will be in the air and will float around his facility and go on the other side of the facility where they are making herbal preparations for us. So when you check the final thing, you will find mercury and lead which were way above the limits of the raw material. So you cannot control that in far off location. But for companies who are already doing it in USA, like Amit's and mine, we have to make sure that our air quality handling in the facility is up to the mark so that there is no cross contamination of any sort. You will also find there are a lot of people who will come to you with a lot of allergies, food sensitivities, sesame, peanuts, wheat, things like that. And there you are also liable to make sure that the company you're buying the products from are also aware of those allergens. You have to have the proper declaration on the product packaging. You have to have companies who can provide you with the liability insurance and say, yeah, our products have liability insurance, as Amit just said. So as practitioners or as consumers, you have to understand that your life can be at risk if you don't know the exact source of your product. So for us, it was just a natural progression from pharmaceutical to natural, something which doesn't have a lot of side effects as modern medicines do, and something where we can say, okay, we may not be an authentic Ayurvedic manufacturing company, but we are making products which are safe for people in large.
Thank you so much, Dr. Harpinderji. You put it very well together in a nutshell. Thank you so much. And I must add on to our experience too. We had imported about 10 different herbs from Indore. That's where my wife is from. And Indore is surrounded by all Chhattisgarh forest, beautiful forest, very pristine herbs you get it. And we were importing it from one company, and we got one of the herbs we imported was guduchi, and they gave a certificate of analysis. We depend on that, and we manufacture the products. We made almost 1,200 bottles of 120 capsules each. And when we tested, the mercury level was like about 6.57 ppm, which is way high. And then when I checked back with the manufacturer, I said, how come you gave us a certificate of analysis which is compliant, and then when we manufactured, the content was so high, and we had to spend like, it's much more expensive to manufacture a product in this country, and we spent so much of money and manufacture labels and bottling and everything, and then when it failed the testing, we had to discard all the 1,200 bottles, which again, that's very expensive to discard a contaminated product in this country. So when I checked with them, why did you do this? So they said, no, we tested them. What they did is they tested all the 10 products and did one testing, because I just showed you testing is very expensive. So they tested all the 10 products together, and it passed. And then when I visited the factory again, and I saw that they also manufacture Rasoshadis, they also have mercury in their facility. There's no direct contact of the herb and mercury, but they are all stored in the same storage. So when raw mercury and the herbs are stored in the same, they're sharing the same air, there is a contamination. And finally they agreed, but we lost the money. We spent so much of money to buy, to import, and pay the taxes, and now the tariffs also, which have been imposed. So it was a big loss. So that's what I want to let you guys know, that there's a lot more than people looking for a cheap product that they can buy in an Indian grocery store on a on-site online Distacard. So in fact, I had the guy here from Dut Papeshwar, one of the oldest Ayurvedic pharmacies in India, and he was saying, they have no control. People are buying it online. And in fact, I showed him, Ranjit Puranik, I was here, and I showed him, look at your products here. They're also then, and you need to remember, like whenever a name of a product ends with rasa, it means it has heavy metals, it has mercury, it has, it may be safe the way it's product, but if you prescribe that or recommend that to any client here in the US, you're asking for a big liability. And I do know, I think Dr. Parla would be the next person, and he may add on with the stringent quality and the liabilities they have in California. In fact, I came across that there are a group of lawyers, there are a group of attorneys who are looking for scapegoats. They buy the products, and they do the testings, and then they blackmail the manufacturer. So there's a lot going on. So without taking more time here, I would like to invite Dr. Jayagopal Parla. Are you here, Dr. Parla?
I don't think so. He's not there yet. Let me add another thing here to Amit. What you just said is, for American manufacturers, we have to test all the three: identification, microbial, heavy metal, and even the pesticide residue when we even are importing raw materials. So even we put a single gram in any capsule, everything has to be checked. And I think Amit learned the lesson hard way, that he cannot do it without doing the raw material check and making the finished product, because we trust our suppliers. No, you can't trust Indian suppliers, because even if if they are your known person, the quality of the raw material is actually your responsibility when you are making it in USA. So it is important for all of us, and California especially has a rule called California Prop 65, which has one of the most stringent laws in the country for heavy metal contamination. Actually, it is in the world. There is no stringent law than California Prop 65 for heavy metal. And all of you who are practicing in California area, please make sure that your supplier tells you that if he's meeting California Prop 65 or not, because that can otherwise put you in liability if you're practicing there.
Thank you, Harpinder ji. I just spoke with Dr. Jayagopal Parla. He thought it's a different time, so he's logging in, and Dr. Parla is in California, so I'll have him elaborate more on that. So while we are waiting for Dr. Jayagopal Parla, let me share a few more uh, uh, issues here. I think one issue, I think we'll have uh, Dr. Shailendra address here is Dr. Shailendra, how there are different kind of products, like in encapsulation or in tablets. People do use capsules, they use tablets, they use kashais, they use powders, they use extracts. So what is your take on powders versus extracts or blend, or what do you feel
Yeah.
most effective uh, for?
Dr. Amit, as you know, I'm all for, when we are making supplement at Ayushers, and the goal is that it should deliver the result. That's always is in our back of our mind. The product need to be safe, but product needs to bring the result the consumer is using it for the condition they think they have, or for the maintaining health. So my experience have been, that yeah, raw powders do have their value. The liquids they have their values, and extract definitely have their value as well. There is a shelf life of the raw herbs, which actually, we in the panel, we all are very much expert in our fields. uh, my understanding is very clear that raw powders lose their potency within a 1 year. They lose by 50% of their active constituent, or there will be microbial contamination, and something like that. So that's where I think liquid extracts or the powdered extracts becomes very much result oriented. Not only their shelf life is better, and you can also have the control on microbials as well, as long as it's manufactured and packed in a manner where the contamination has not happened. So I definitely believe extract do deliver great results, and they have more strength based on what constituent you are doing. The when we talk about extracts, they can be straight extracts, which mean they're full spectrum extracts, versus also there can be certain extract which can be only special, standardized to particular component of that herb based on the research and science, that what constituent really deliver that result, like curcuminoids and curcumin, for in from the turmeric, which is the full spectrum. So we need to keep that in our vision field, that extract do have a longer shelf life, and they do deliver a good results. But I'm not against raw powder, other than that the raw powders do have a shorter shelf life. As long, if you're bringing raw powders from India, from the time they are harvested, the time they are been grinded to the powder form, or as a whole, or the time they get to ship, you already lose at least 4 to 5 months before they even come to your facility. And then you talk about manufacturing into that, puts another couple of months. So you have very short shelf life product, which will not be delivering the results which you would expect from the product. So that's where my stand comes, that the extract definitely delivers much stronger product, clean product. You can almost do all the heavy metal testing, microbial testing, and you can do pesticide testing, which we do in Ayusha. This is our standard protocol. Every product have to be tested for it, but that should be the same standard, I think, going around in by any Ayurvedic suppliers who are supplying the products. Especially, as you mentioned, in California, a certain group is sitting and they're always looking for this type of trouble. So uh, I think it is our responsibility that we deliver a product which is very safe.
Actually, I do agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, there are second other side to the same coin is that extracts are potent. Extracts offer advantages where it needs to be, but at the same time, these days the unchecked use of extracts of turmeric and ashwagandha and other Ayurvedic herbs are also causing a lot of bad publicity and negative press, which has become a headache for us. Recent articles about liver damage due to the unchecked use of curcumin capsules in New Jersey area and in other parts of the country are gaining momentum here. And people have to understand that though all Ayurvedic herbs or most Ayurvedic herbs are safe to be consumed, but they have to be consumed under a professional's recommendation. They cannot be, especially extracts, they cannot be taken just buying off the counter from pharmacies and Costco's and taken unregulated and without any check. So all of us have to be very mindful of what we are prescribing and how much are we prescribing, whether it is a powder or especially if it's an extract, because extracts come in is on the borderline of being, especially the actives like curcumins and withanolides, they are on the borderline of becoming a pharmaceutical product rather than a natural product, which needs proper control. So all of us, please be mindful that turmeric, when it is being taken as a spice or as a food, is healthy. Ashwagandha, if taken for a short period of time, is healthy, but we all have to be mindful about the quality and what our final end game is here.
Sounds good. Makes sense. So let me share you this experience about this extracts versus powders and what's being extracted. This European thing about liver toxicity with ashwagandha extract, it makes sense because in Ayurvedic Shastras, the ashwagandha root has to be used, purely root. So what's happening is people they want to use 5% withanolides. When they're using 5% withanolides, it's hard to get from the root. The leaves are rich in withanolides. So many of these commercial companies are using with leaves also, the whole plant for extraction. And when they're using leaves, and in Ayurvedic text, it's purely contraindicated to use the leaves. Leaves are totally contraindicated. And these commercial companies are using the extracts of the leaves to get the higher withanolide content. So when you are recommending ashwagandha, you have to make sure that it's the extract of the root or the powder of the root. And the powder of the root, their dose would be like about 5 grams, 3 to 5 grams. And if you're using a capsule, it would be withanolides. If you're using 1.5 to 5%, it will be 1 to 2 capsules. So, but if you're using the extract of the leaf, then yes, it's going to be toxic. It's going to have the withanol content of 5%, but it may be hard on the liver. So you have to really understand that not all ashwagandhas are same, not all turmerics are the same, not all, even simple thing like haritaki. If you look at haritaki, in the Shastras, haritaki has to be used powder. You cannot use the extract of the haritaki. Haritaki powder helps in laxation, is a mild laxative and helps in detoxification. And then when it comes to haritaki extract, it's more constipative. So it's all the boil game, the game of how you're using your viveka, your common sense, and so it's important to really understand what you're using, whether you're using extract, whether you're using powder, whether you're and as I said, if you're going to use haritaki extract, you're going to defeat the purpose, because haritaki extract is going to give constipation. I'm so excited and glad to see Dr. Jayagopal Parla.
Namaste.
So you see Amit Guman there. So he's like my little brother there, okay?
Thank you.
So it's great. A little older brother, Dr. Shailendra here, and little brother here, Jayagopal Parla. And so Jayagopal Parla is a very dear friend, and he's also also a pioneer in the herbal industry. And I'm so glad you are here. He's in LA, and
thank you for having me, Dr. Amit.
Yeah,
thank you for Apna's platform to give me this app format to give. Platform to give me this opportunity. Thank you.
You're welcome. So Professor Jayagopal Parla is an internationally known speaker, educator, and a practitioner of Ayurvedic medicine and yoga. With clinical teaching and research experience, Professor Parla holds a Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery from Bangalore University, India, a master's degree in Ayurvedic medicine with specialty in herbal medicine from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, India. He also graduated from Masters of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine program in Southern California University of Health Sciences. He's a certified yoga therapist, completed a yoga teacher's training in Bihar School of Yoga. He's a professor of Ayurveda at the American University of Complementary Medicine, founder and director of Atre Ayurvedic Herbal Integrative Health Center, Long Beach, and founder and vice president of Atre Herbs, a US-based provider of Ayurvedic herbal formulation. He also teaches at Southern California University of Health Sciences, Mount Madonna College of Ayurveda, and Kerala Ayurveda Academy. He serves as a visiting faculty member at the Japan School of Ayurvedic Medicine. His additional work on behalf of complementary and alternative medicine approaches includes extensive travel to foster growth of Ayurveda worldwide and numerous presentations on Ayurvedic medicine at various national and international conferences. I'm so glad and excited that we finally have Dr.
Thank you. My apologies for being a little late.
That's all right. Better late than never. So Jaikopal, I'm so happy that, and so we have been going historically from Dr. Shailendra to Harpinder, and then you are one of the latest person to be on this Ayurvedic products bandwagon. So my question to you is, what made you start Ayurvedic company products? I know you were manufacturing initially, and then now you're manufacturing. Things are different now. Tell us about what journey. In fact, our journeys are very similar, from Ayurveda to acupuncture to MPH, public health, and so we share a very similar journey.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we come to this country, everybody who is an Ayurvedic practitioner who has come to this country, including Dr. Shekhar, will agree that we have so many hats to wear. And we're also, over ambitious when we come as Ayurvedic practitioners here to this country. Ambition driven by a purpose. So the purpose is to reach out to as many people as possible through Ayurveda. First, it starts with teaching. Most of the time, because of the restrictions that we have in this country for practice of Ayurveda, we start with teaching. Teaching leads to need of product. It starts from very simple products. Then it'll expand into somewhat practice-based. So, even if you look at the market of US-based Ayurvedic offerings, we have 2 or 3 distinct, niches in the product need. One is mostly health and wellness type of Ayurveda. Number 2 is practitioner, driven Ayurvedic products. The third one is what is needed for Indian diaspora, which is the somewhat they have come across these herbs or formulations from India, and they are trying to purchase it here. So anyway, with these types of 3 diasporas, slowly there is a need to look at what is the type of need of the product. So like as you said, Dr. Amit, there was a need to bring in product in timely fashion that is of high quality and a extensive offering, mostly based on what happens is you want to have a product that is to be used in your practice, and then it is not available in the US market. So you start procuring these products, making sure that it is available at an affordable rate and a higher quality. So that's why I got into Ayurvedic products. One is I have a MD in Draviguna, which is my one of my longing for herbs is what made me to bring in the Ayurvedic herbs to this country. And that's how Atreya started. Very humble beginnings with one person working for us, only single herbs to dispense. And then now it has grown from 23 products when we started in 2013 to now about 182 products that we have. That's what we have now to offer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Parla. So now that you are coming from California, so would you mind sharing us what's this Prop 66 in California?
Yeah, it's Prop 65. So Prop 65 is a recent, yeah, in about 11 years ago, it was amended by what is called as COE HHA, I think, COE HHA, California Office of Health and Hazard Assessment. So this organization prompted that any substance, it may be food, it may be nutritional substance, it may be even baby food, the amount of lead, it's only specific to lead, should be lesser than the potable water. So if it is more than the water, the drinking water, then you need to declare that it is Prop 65, non-compliant, which is with the warning saying that this product has a potential harm to cause cancer or reproductive harm, and this is they have to have it on the label printed. If you don't, in the recent times, I have a number of cases to share with you, including Himalaya Drug Company went through a lawsuit that was done by the consumer saying that they have not declared Prop 65. And the Prop 65, when the notice comes to you from the COE AH, that the organization, they fine you per product per day $250 until you put the Prop 65 on it. Secondly, people who can go to the court can also fine because you've been exposed to potential lead contamination. So it may be higher than what the fine that the organization or the governing body does, but it may be higher. So Prop 65 is a very tricky proposition that is now in place in California, only in the state of California, for lead. They are saying they may extend it to copper, and they're also saying they're going to extend it to arsenic. So they're not sure whether they're going to do that or not.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Parla. When you said about copper, I came across one of my patients is a crop duster. He has a plane and he does crops. They go on big fields and they dust pesticides and they dust for things to prevent the diseases. And I came across very interesting fact from him that when he has to dust an organic farm, he has to be extra careful because some of the chemicals they use, they're organic, they're natural, but they're more toxic than the regular pesticides. And one of the pesticides they use is copper sulfate, it seems, for organic farming, which is organic, but it's more toxic. So he has to be more extra careful when they're doing organic pesticides. So it's just trivia which I came across from one of my clients. So I think we are having a very good conversation here, and we are almost at 11 o'clock. I would like for our participants to also chip in. I would like for it to be a conversation rather than a monologue or I would like it to be more of a conversation. Dr. Budlow is here, who was in Johnson & Johnson. Nice to meet you here. My friend Kanan Shah is here. She's a family physician in Oklahoma City. So if you have any questions, please do put it in the chat box. So some of the questions which I have come across here is one is about labeling, about the requirement for labelings. Who wants to take the shot, Dr. Sodhi or Dr. Harpinder or Jay Gopal?
This is Dr. Shailendra Sodhi. So, when it comes to the labeling, there is a definitely requirement by Dietary Supplement Health Education Act, which stands for DSHIA, what goes on the label. Uh, product need to be very much clear. There is supplement fact which needs to go on it, and every ingredient which is in the capsule or tablet need to be mentioned on the label. And label also need to be very specific what type of claims you make. You have to, those are approved claim only can go. Otherwise, you cannot put any claim on it, which have to be very careful. If it is a claim which make it look like a drug, then it is a drug, not a supplement. So that is one of the things very much clear, sometimes which get violated very easily by the certain companies or who are very new to the industry. India's product which are sold within India, yes, there is certain claims are allowed over there because Ayurvedic medicine is a part of a mainstream medicine, or why we call it parallel medicine, would not pass through the US regulations. So you need to be very careful when you're thinking of selling or prescribing products from India, that they should not have those type of claims, because then it is a drug, that, or it will be compared to the pharmaceuticals, and you have to go through the complete evaluation with the FDA on those type of things. uh, Not only claim, then we also need to be very much careful with FTC regulation, which stands for Federal Trade Commission. If your product eludes or advertised in a manner which might be taken it as that it's a drug, that need to be understood too. So there is not only FDA, FTC, but the Shia. All these things play a very important role when it comes to the label, what goes on the label, and on top, like we mentioned about Prop 65 need to be on the label if it is not Prop 65 compliant. And also there is certain regulations which by FDA you have to mention on the label that these whatever you are mentioned on the label is not approved by FDA, but you cannot have a claim which will look like a drug claim.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shailender. Another question we have here in the chat is, what is GMP? And I'll let Harpinder take the shot on GMP. What is GMP?
GMP, as Amit also mentioned earlier, is good manufacturing practices. That whatever we are manufacturing, we are following a certain pattern. It is a universal, acronym which is used in every country. Every country's FDA have their own norms of what good manufacturing practices stand for in that particular area. In USA, we have to follow what a standard set up by the US FDA. And for dietary supplements, it's called CGMP, which also stands for current GMP, which keeps on getting updated every now and then by FDA, and rules and norms keep on changing. So most manufacturers of herbal supplements and dietary supplements in USA are CGMP compliant. But over a step above, I think me and Amit, we both have CGMP certification from a third party, which comes and inspects our facility on a regular basis to make sure we are following and we are crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's as per US FDA. So that is GMP. And at the same time, there are other acronyms which you might see on GLP, which is good lab practices, GAP, which is good agricultural practices. So as a raw material buyer, we strive to buy our raw materials from suppliers who are having GAP, basically good agricultural practices. And this is also actually added on to our certified raw materials, which are organic. So you will see that nowadays there are a lot of loosely said, oh, we are doing it in GMP facility. Now, is it a GMP facility in India or is it a GM facility in USA? So you have to make sure that if you are buying USA made products, they are manufactured, they are certified by a third party CGMP certifier.
Thank you. Thank you, Harpinder ji. Here I have a question from...
Can I take both the questions a little bit differently? First, the labeling. First of all, as Ayurvedic, companies here in the US, we don't have a consensus among ourselves that we should, follow a proper labeling, requirement. There's so many companies, so many products based out of US that are, not in compliance with the labeling requirement. I've seen it on the FDA website that these companies have been sent the notice that you're doing structural claims and functional claims, they continue to do the business because people involved in these companies are not Ayurvedic practitioners. They are, with the interest to uh, be on the bandwagon of Ayurveda, where it is now becoming very famous. So this is a number one priority that as a group we should do among ourselves, self-monitoring and saying, your labels are not up to, because if one company gets a black mark, it is to the entire profession that we get into this type of issue. So as practitioners who are attending this, be diligent, be very, mindful of pointing out, hey, your label doesn't comply with the FDA's thing, because I'm going to give it to my patient or to my client. And if they come back and then say, where is the, nutritional facts? Why is it saying Ayurvedic medicine when it is not? Because it comes under supplement, and supplement is regulated differently by FDA than a food. So recently we had FDA visiting us, and thank God, fingers crossed, we came a complete because they were also looking at our CGMP too. So their main thing was, because you're a supplement company, what are your structural claims and functional claims? Like Dr. Sodhi mentioned, they wanted to see what exactly is our wording. They have this book called, it is very good for all the manufacturers, not for the students here or the practitioners. It's called Code of Federal Regulations. So it is 21 CFR. It's called. It's a good book for all the manufacturers. That's what they had in the hand. Luckily, we had printed out about 4 years ago, and then we started practicing since our CGMP was done. So they go through that book word by word. They will ask how many samples after every batch you have kept aside, and how much is the label. How do you do the recall? If there is an issue, how do you do recall? Show me this product. How do you? It's almost like a CGMP. People who have gone through CGMP, they will know this, but FDA goes through that as well. It's very important that as practitioners and consumers, we should think about whether this company is doing the due diligence according to the law of the land. Second thing is, like Harpinder said, yeah, of course, the CGMP is done by a third party, and each year we have to renew it. And a company that is compliant, absolutely, should be compliant in India too. So our facility in India was also visited by FDA. So both ways, they want to make sure. See, ultimately, FDA wants the consumer to be safe. It's consumer safety. So if we comply everything, then it's a win-win situation for Ayurveda and also the product industry.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jayagopal. And same thing with us. In fact, we had our GMP inspection by Eurofin. And so these people, they spend almost 3 to 4 days going through everything. And we had the GMP, we scored 99%, which is very rare. And thanks to Harpinder, she was a big help to us, guiding Binti, my wife, in prepping us. And then immediately after that, we were prepared, and we had FDA inspection, and they were there for another 3-4 days. So you're spending 3-4 days with these people who are going through each and every nitty-gritties. They want to know the purity. You're saying ashwagandha, it's ashwagandha, or whether it's curcumin. How do you know it's ashwagandha? How is it tested for its identification? And you're saying it has 5% withanol. So how is it tested for 5? So they ask you for your purity, they ask you for your potency, they ask you for identification, and also for pesticides. So it's getting more and more complicated. So when people in the US are buying Ayurvedic products, they would ask us why our products are more expensive than they could buy.
Exactly. That's the point. The price point is what drives the market. And as practitioners too, we have a tendency to look for a cheaper product and make a little extra on the margins, but we are putting a lot of the profession in danger, the patient in danger, and your reputation in danger if you don't follow all the regulations that are for the supplements in this country. Thank you for bringing that, Dr. Amit.
I have a last question for Dr. Jayagopal. Somebody has asked here. It's Dr. Archana Kulkarni.
Mm-hmm.
He has asked a question. I think you would be the one who could be a good person to answer. Her question is, can you please specify labeling instruction for Ayurveda practitioner when they make their own combination of herbal tea for their clients? Dr. Jayagopal.
Okay, so this is something dependent on the layers of laws, very different. City has to give some what is called permits. There is a city permit which allows you to dispense teas. You can dispense teas as long as you have the license as a either healthcare, like in Long Beach, where I practice, where we make our own herbal combinations. We are allowed to make teas, and it depends on number of employees that are present in your practice. If any company that has, or anything that is manufacturing teas like this, if we dispense the number of employees 10 and above, then you need to send each batch to the lab to make sure that it is tested for whatever heavy metals and microbial, etc. If your number is below 10 in the city of Long Beach, it's allowed to do as a tea, right? And you have to do your research what your city allows. Then when it comes,
let me add here, Dr. Parla, let me add here. They have to research it based on their state and on the city. You
correct.
are giving a correct example of your Long Beach, but whoever is trying to dispense this, please check with your local health authorities before you do that, and also make sure that you will now be liable for an FDA inspection too. Once you start dispensing, it is not just a local health info. And
Yeah.
also, FDA is now also responsible for checking if you are just even dispensing packaged herbal supplements in your practice. You're not even doing any mixing of teas or anything. You're just holding bottles. FDA has a right to walk into your practice and audit your inventory. So please check on that, and please make sure your records are correct, that how much you bought and how much you dispensed.
Thank you.
Health department, thank you, Harpinderji. So health department does come through from time to time. Even before the FDA, the health department is the one which comes in and then make sure that your sanitization, your hygiene is in place, OSHA is in place. So if you are doing some body work therapies too, they will look at, but they want to make sure labeling is done properly. Number 2 is labeling. You have to have a printed label. You have to disclose everything. What are the 3 ingredients that you have added? How much is the quantity? What is the dosage? You have to have a printed label on the bag that you're dispensing. Okay, so we do that in the university too. So same thing, they have to have the date, how much is the dose, what is the possible, if at all any complications, and who to contact if there is any adverse effects. So this has to be there on the label.
Thank you. That's a very important point, to who to contact, because I do get sometimes calls from some of my friends who see my patients in their practice, and they would say, "Call, hey Amit, you gave this calm bowels. Would it have any interaction with this coumarin or coumadine or something like that?" So important that they do have a contact information. Thank you so much. I think we are in the right direction. My next question would be to Dr. Shekhar Annambotla. Are you there, Shekhar? Shekhar, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, so because I've been to your facility, beautiful clinic in Pennsylvania, in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So my question to you is, what precautions? I see that you dispense a lot of products. So as a practitioner, what are your recommendations to the other practitioners to keep in mind when they're dispensing products? What steps do you take for when you are selling some of the powders? I see that you have different kind of powders. You have got churnas, you have got different teas, you have different oils, nasya. what steps do you take when you are dispensing, and what are your recommendations for the other fellow practitioners?
Very good question, Dr. Amit. So, as an Ayurvedic practitioner, and we studied for 9 years of Ayurvedic school and training program and everything, our background and educational background and everything. And we see that a combination of herbs, rasa, guna, virya, vipaka, prabhavas, and everything, qualities, we look into that. So, when we are combination of these things, according to the evaluation of the individual practitioners, individual clients who are coming to see us, even though herbal formulation which is given to them, they may ask that question, the simple question that, can I share with my mother? Can I share with my daughter? No. We generally recommend that not to give to anybody. It's only recommended for you, only specifically for your condition, health condition. And it has to be taken for a short period of time. And at the same time, I always follow them that first, the extensive questionnaire we have, about 24 pages of questionnaire, what they are doing, what their lifestyle, what is the emotions and everything. We take into the consideration of the not only dosha evaluation and their dietary lifestyle and spiritual background, whether they are practicing everything. So non-pharmacological techniques, vata, pitta, kapha, we have a sheet of the things are there, what they can do it. So those are the list of the things we give them. First, we have to educate them. Ayurveda is not practiced as a medicine. Ayurveda means Ayuhu Veda. Ayu means life. Veda means knowledge. In the base of that, what is the question is that here I am telling you that point coming back to you. That's the thing when we are giving prescription the supplements for them, individual supplements, only specifically for them, short period of time they have to take it. And after that, they have to discontinue it. And whether how the body is reacting to that, on the basis of that, we give the recommendation. We give the minimal recommendations and more on the detoxification, panchakarma therapies and detoxification abhyanga therapies and sneha therapies, svedana therapies, and so many panchakarma related therapies and dietary lifestyle changes. We are going to work on that. That's the way we do it. Very minimally we give the supplements and more on the detoxification of the body and everything, emotional balancing, spiritual balancing, meditation, those type of things also we practice in our practice.
Thank you, Dr. Shekhar, and thank you so much. I think we are doing good. So there's another question here: how to contact us and how to be a part of AAP. Dr. Sood, Sanjay Sood, where are you based, Dr. Sood?
I'm based currently in California, but sometimes I practice in other states.
So your question is how do you get on our newsletter and all that? So please do email us at aapusa.com. I've just put that in the newsletter, and you're welcome to be a member of our organization. aapusa.com is our website. So please do join us, and we'd love to have you and Dr. Kanan Shah and many of our physicians. We want more and more physicians here, and Dr. Badloi, you're also welcome to join us. Dr. Badloi was with Johnson & Johnson. Can you unmute yourself and tell us about what's your experience, Dr. Badloi? You are from pharmaceutical Johnson & Johnson. Now you are manufacturing Ayurvedic products. What has your experience been so far?
Okay, my professional background has been in pharmaceutical and medical devices. I was with Baxter Healthcare for over a dozen years, out of which actually I spent 9 years in India developing home dialysis or peritoneal dialysis before doing a kidney transplant. And then I've been based in U.S. since 1974. I went to graduate school here, chemistry, chemical engineering, NYU, and UCLA MBA, so on. So I'm not Ayurvedic practitioner as such, but more into pharmaceuticals. And then while I had the exposure in India, I felt that some of the claims that we are making through my contacts, that they didn't go through the rigor seen in typical pharmaceutical sciences. So I decided to focus on arthritis because I myself have some issues of arthritis, including my wife, who also cannot take some of the allopathic medicines like even simple aspirin or ibuprofen because she gets hives. So I thought, okay, so I'll try to do something. So I started to do some research on my own. And there are standardized models of doing arthritic conditions and their reduction in an arthritic mice model. So I looked at various herbals in a publication from Japan where they evaluated 20 essential oils. And we screened them at the Vishwavarti University in Santiniketan, West Bengal. And we found that 3 or 4 oils were effective, and they also had a very good synergistic effect. So we decided to file a patent and wanted to do actual studies with patients. So I contacted Dr. BP Sharma, Dr. Amit knows. Yeah, he was the principal at Ayurvedic College and Hospital in Guwahati, and he gets lots of arthritic patients. So we actually had to make a cream out of it so that one could apply. So we made a topical cream at our facility at Guwahati. It's very close to Indian Institute of Technology campus. We have a few scientists and engineers. So we did that and did a clinical study, and they liked it. And then we were trying to sell in India, and we found that orthopedic doctors say, well, they are, they don't want to say anything, but they don't practice and use it. So we needed more data of typical allopathic type, where you look at inflammatory cytokines. So we decided to do a blood work study. So again, did a clinical study on blood work, where Dr. Sharma would collect the blood and we look at before and after inflammatory cytokines in the blood. So did all that and had 2 publications.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you,
and then, yeah, and then we now actually making in the US, but it is made at a GMP compliant facility. I don't manufacture. I give it to a GMP compliant manufacturing facility in Salt Lake City, Utah. So we're trying to market now as a topical cream, and I look into RX down the road.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bardloy. I just wanted you to share your experience. We have few more minutes, 5 more minutes. I see a question here from Nisha Patel. Nisha, are you there?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Hi. So where are you located, Nisha?
I'm actually in the LA area. I am one of Dr. J's students at SCUHS.
Awesome. Welcome here. So I see you have a question here. What region in India is known, concentrated for Ayurvedic medicine manufacturing? So manufacturing in India, Dr. Jayagopal, I'll let you answer your student, because you are.
It depends on what product you're looking at. If you're looking at traditional classical products, which are herbal in the sense like asavam, sarishtam, thailam, ghritam, then you will have a better chance in southern India. Because it all depends on the type of practice that has been prevalent for hundreds of years. So in South India, the practice is mostly based on the liquids and herbal combinations. When it comes to a innovation type of product, like if you want to make like Dr. Bardloy is saying, like if you think of a cream, or if you want to think about a lozenges or something like that, which is a little more Western presentation, then you're better off looking at, places like Delhi or Ahmedabad or Bangalore, places where people are now into innovations of new presentations of the product. So if you're looking for cosmetics, then there is a different section of Ayurvedic cosmetic industry that's growing as well, which is somewhat, either in Calcutta area or in Gujarat area.
Thank you. So basically, India is expanding. It's growing leaps and bounds, and it's going to be third largest economy. So this is one of the biggest thing going on. But I do want to point to our participants here. One of the biggest herbs in Ayurveda is also Vijaya, which is marijuana, cannabis sativa, cannabis indica. So the total industry of Ayurveda in this country is about $2 billion per year, and $2 billion, and the share which is held by our small companies is minimalist, probably not even 1%. So the biggest share in Ayurvedic industry now is maintained by nutraceuticals, where there are manufacturers who are bringing in Ayurvedic extracts, and they are going leaps and bounds, billions of dollars industry which is going on. Ashwagandha is a huge industry, one of the biggest expo of herbal industry is called Supply Side West, and the sponsor that for is called KSM 66. He's a guy from Hyderabad, where I'm from, and the product was developed by one of my professors, Dr. I. Sanjeev Rao. And this KSM 66 is one of the biggest supplier of ashwagandha in the world, probably $100 million, probably. If anybody knows a better number. So, and then so is our turmeric, curcumin. Sabinsa is a pioneer company. In fact, the Majid was the founder who just passed away. That's another $100 million company. So it's a $2 billion industry with Ayurveda. We're probably even larger than that. In fact, I got to visit the facility which manufacture for many of the Ayurvedic products. They are in Jodhpur for all reasons, and they manufacture most of the nutraceuticals in this country, which are being sold in this country. So it's a huge industry, but bigger than Ayurvedic industry is the medical marijuana industry, which is basically Ayurveda, and that's about almost like $12 billion industry. And it's going to go up to there, expecting to go up to $100 billion industry. So Vijaya is a huge industry, could be another big industry going on. So what I mean to say is remember to think outside the box and realize that there's no box. So there's a huge potential for Ayurveda, whether it's a practice of Ayurveda or whether it's products of Ayurveda. Products of Ayurveda, there's a lot more headache involved. There's a lot more responsibility. But I think if you're a practitioner of Ayurveda, which most of you are here, I thank you and welcome you all for being here. With your any other question you have before we wind up. It's 11:30 here, which is 9:30. So if anybody has any other question, last question. Yes, Deepa has a question here. Deepa, are you here? So her question of Deepa is: are Ayurvedic herbs and cosmetics held to be same standard as discussed here? This is also growing sector nowadays. I will let Harpinder take this shot because they are manufacturing cosmetic or face products. So I'll let Harpinder answer this question, and that would if anybody wants to have another last question, and we'll wind up after that. Harpinder, on to you, please.
Yes, herbal raw materials and cosmetics which have herbs in it are considered the same standards. You have to follow the GMP principles there, which means testing of the raw material, testing of the finished product, and following the other guidelines as set up in the food product. Because remember, in Ayurveda, anything that you put on your skin has to be of an edible grade. So if your cosmetic or skincare products are not safe, then you cannot market or sell them in USA as well, because FDA is very clear. There is a new guideline about cosmetics also and skincare products also recently. So if you're buying or planning to buy any skincare products from any other supplier, please make sure that you are aware about the new cosmetic law of US FDA.
Thank you. Thank you, Harpinder ji. I think this brings us to, okay, Nisha has another question. Do same laws, regulations apply to the pet products?
Yes, there is a separate guideline for the animal products as well. And there is where it is as at par with human foods and human products. So yes.
And Dr. Shailendra also manufacture Ayurvedic products.
Oh, yeah.
You want to tell us about the Ayurvedic products for vets, Dr. Shailendra Sodhi?
Yeah, as for the pet product line, that again, like Apinda mentioned it, you have the same guidelines. The safety is the main thing, and there is no separate regulation right now. It is falls under the nutraceutical products for the pets and all that. Again, you cannot make claims, drug claims on any pet line again. So as long as it supports the health, excuse me, And that's what we need to make sure that the label claims what is mentioned is very similar to human claims, and the dosaging for the pets are very different than the human dosaging, so that need to be very much declared if it is for the dogs and cats. So you need to have some veterinarians who have experience in nutraceutical and supplements, how to prescribe. So yeah, that's a totally different animal. I mean, that can be another topic for some other day.
Sounds good. Because Dr. Shailendra's brother Virender is a veterinarian.
Yeah, Tejender, Dr. Tejender.
Tejinder. So, so it was great having this conversation. We are past 4 minutes. I want to thank everyone from the bottom of my heart. I'll let Dr. Gauri Junakar do a presentation of the vote of thanks. And I'm so glad and I'm honored that I got to be the moderator here with this 4 esteemed panelists who are very dear to my heart. Thank you all for being here. Please do subscribe to contact us on appusa.com. That's our website. It's a pure uh, organization for membership. We are not politically involved. I know there's a lot of politics in Ayurvedic profession. We are more divided than united, but I think that's the beauty of unity in diversity. So we just want to hold a platform for the practitioners of Ayurveda to bring them together, empower them, and to support each other. That's where we are for Auntie Gauri, and thank you so much.
So
Thank you.
thank you so much, Dr. Amit, and all our esteemed panelists today. I mean, it was an amazing discussion. We had wonderful participants here. We also had excellent questions being asked. And I hope that this was an informative session for all of our panelists as well as for all our participants who actually are here with us today. And just before we close for our session today, I just wanted to go over the mission of AAP. So the mission of our AAP, which is American Association of Ayurvedic Professionals, is to unite, educate, and empower BMS graduates and Ayurvedic professionals to advance authentic Ayurvedic practice, teaching, research, and leadership, strengthen community health, foster global integration, and uphold the true spirit of Ayurveda. So again, we would encourage all of you, again, if you're looking to volunteer, to please contact us to our organization. We are looking for volunteers as well, and again, to be members as well. And again, thank you to all of you who joined us, and to our moderator, Dr. Amit, as well as our esteemed panelists and our participants.
Do you want to say about the next one, Gauri? When is going to be the next one so they can look forward to?
Yes, so we will be having another session coming up again in August as well. And again, for all those who have joined us, through Zoom, again, we'll be sending us some information on that. Again, please make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter so you get more information about our upcoming sessions as well.
I think it's going to be the last weekend of August. We'll have one more, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Jai Dhanvantri.